Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Good evening again. I am doing something really weird, which is to do my live video again. I just did it on the Narrow Gateway page, and I just checked out the video, and I think I was in a spot in my house that just did not have very good reception. So I see it's not the best video, and this for me is really critical content. So I don't want it to get lost in translation. So I'm doing the video again. As you can see, I've moved backgrounds. Hi, Bongs. Hi, my brother. Good to see you. And so I'm doing the video again, but which is great because I love being live, and I love the opportunity to chat to you. I am live today. Let me introduce myself. As always, Toyin Oladiran, Christian life coach, founder of the Narrow Gateway, and creator of the B.O.O.M Walk program. I'm sure you've heard me speak about the B.O.O.M Walk program quite a lot. So yes, I am live. Today I always come live on Wednesdays around about 8 to 8:30 Nigerian time. So that's about 9 to 9:30 South African time. So it's a little bit late today, but like I said, I did this live on my previous page, but the network was not so great. So I'm doing it again with you guys, and I really trust that God has some stuff that He wants to say to us. So let's go ahead and do that. Today I am going to be doing something very different. I am going to be doing a live reading of a blog post that I put up today, and it's titled and then I realized that He was messing with my clapback. And then I realized that He was messing with my clapback. Please share this video when you come on. Make sure you share, guys. There are people. There must be somebody in your network that just needs to hear what we're going to talk about today. Make sure you share this video and write something. Don't just click share. Put something in the sort of like the blurb before you share, just so that people have a sense of what the video is about. The blog post we're reading is, and then I realized that He was messing with my clapback. So before we go ahead and start, I am going to invite you guys to do something that Heather Lindsay does when she does her live videos. I follow Heather Lindsay and her husband Cornelius Lindsay. When she does a live video, she invites people to shake it off. And shake it off basically means we're here, it's the end of the day, it's the middle of the week. There must be stuff in your heart that is blocking you from really being able to receive and hear the things that God might have to say to us today. So let's shake it off. How do we shake it off? Come boldly. The Bible says, come boldly to the throne of grace to obtain mercy and find grace to help you in your time of need. So come boldly. Let's come to the Lord and say, Lord, everything that's on our minds, everything that's bugging us, we're laying it at your feet. We're leaving it right there. And then we're going to turn to you to hear what you have to say. Know that those things are going to be just fine at your feet for the period that we're going to leave them there. It's better if we leave them there permanently, isn't it? So let's shake it off. Okay? Lord, I just want to shake it off this evening. I just want to shake it off. It's the middle of the week. There's lots going on. You have been good. You have been faithful. Indeed, there are many, many things that have happened in this past week, even today, that can keep me distracted and can even make me do this Facebook Live for my own benefit and not for you. But Lord, I want to do it for the audience of one. I want to do it for you. So I lay down all my cares. I lay everything down before you, Lord. And I choose to set my eyes on you. I choose to switch off every distraction so that I can hear what it is that you have for me to say. I ask, oh God, that the words of my mouth will really penetrate into the hearts of those that you need and that you want to hear these words. I thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen. And I hope you've prayed that same prayer as well. Okay, let me say hi to everybody that's come on board. Remember, this is a Facebook Live. It's interactive. So yes, I will take time to say hi. And I want you guys to say hi back, please. Moshope, thanks for coming back. I thought I would do this again because I see that the last video that I did was not so good. The network was not so good. Hi, Moshope. Thanks for coming in all the way from Canada. Shirley from SA. Mwah. Thanks so much. I'm doing a reading of that blog post that I tagged you in. So thanks for joining. Toyin, my namesake. Hey, I see you. Thanks so much. And I see you shared already. Thank you, guys. Make sure you share this video as soon as you join in. Please share this video. Uncle Yinka, hi. Good to see you there. Good evening, sir. Sis Bukola, I think you'll like this one because a few days back, you actually posted a blog post, a post on the Super Working Mom Academy about something similar. Bongs, said hi to you already. Love you, Stacks. So here we go. I am going to be doing a reading of a blog post that I did today. It's titled, and then I realized that he was messing with my clapback. I pray that it it touches you the way it touched me. Let's go for it. Share the video, share the video, share the video, share the video. And just for the sake of this video, I hope you guys can see my shirt, hashtag turn on the truth. And you know that I'm all about hashtag turn on the truth, tune out the static, turn on the truth. Gotta get that God life, gotta be intentional about it. That's what we're about at the Navigate Way. We are tuning out the noise of the world, we're tuning out the static, and we're turning in the truth. We're turning and tuning into the stuff that builds us, that draws us closer to God, that helps us to discover His purpose for our lives and help us to walk in it. We're all about shaking off the nonsense, and that's actually what today's reading is about. So let me get on with it. Hi, Benedicta, good to see you. Koile, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Let's do this. Here we go. It all began when he started messing with my clapback. He's still messing with my clapback, and I promise you, my peace levels are inching up by the minute. Here's what I mean. This past month, I spent some time on holiday in my beloved second home, South Africa. As far as I'm concerned, it's one of the most blessed countries in the world. I love South Africa. In fact, I can safely say that most of the significant life experiences that have shaped me unfolded in South Africa. I like to call my significant life experiences my roots and routes. But I'll get into that later. Let me first tell you about an experience that I had while I was there on holiday. So this one day, I was in a well-known store shopping. I was having a not too unfamiliar experience of, let me call it, shop assistant nastiness. Now, my personal experiences, having grown up in South Africa, predisposed me to believe that the attitude that this lady was serving up oh so generously was either racial or xenophobic or both. Likely both. In other words, my experience told me that her disdain for me was either because I am Black or because I am foreign, African, and Black. It's a loaded statement, I know. But like I said, this was my instinctive insight based on my past experiences. Now don't worry, this is not a blog post, this is not a Facebook Live about racism or xenophobia, but rather about the work that God is able to do in a life that has been conditioned to clap back in reaction to the brokenness that this world throws at it. So stick with me, I'm taking you somewhere. Now folks, I am or I can be the queen of clapback. You push me too far on a bad day, and I will put you back in your place, using just my words. My husband used to tease me that my knack for logical arguments can spin marathons around an unsuspecting guy's head. Well, I hope that's taking it too far, but I am a corporate lawyer by training and professional experience. Not to mention that I'm the youngest child in my family and the only girl, the only girl of two. I've got two older brothers. And so I decided long ago that to avoid being walked all over, I needed to have a mouth and a sharp clap back on me. Oh boy, there's a whole lot about the roots and routes of my life that sharpened my instinct to clap back at life, or at anyone who I felt was threatening my self-determination and my dignity. So back to my story. So here I was on this day, I was leaning against the till counter, and the lady standing behind the till who was meant to be serving me with respect and basic customer service, was spouting out attitude, as if I had asked her to give me the whole trolley load of stuff for free. But I was calm, not just in my demeanor, but also in my heart. I was not tired, neither was I short of words to clap that lady right back into her place. But I was fully unwilling to do this, because not only would it make zero impact on this woman's perception of me and people of my race and nationality, but I also knew that my clapback would not please Jesus for 1 second, and I did not want to displease him. I also did not want to disrespect a person that he created, loves, and died to save. So I stayed calm and kind. And when I happened to have the attention of the floor manager, who asked me whether I wanted him to address the way I had been treated in the store, I told him that I did not feel like it would be fair for me to escalate the matter to him, since I had not taken it up with the culprit, his subordinate. That morning, I walked out of that store with my bags of purchases in hand and a warm strength growing and glowing inside me. You see, I had the power to clap back, and I had the freedom to clap back. but I chose restraint. And I knew in my heart that the only reason that I got it right this time was because God had been messing with my clapback and cluing me in on what true freedom is. You see, God does not work the way the world works. The world says you are entitled to your clapback. You are justified to hit them hard where it hurts. Clap back. Let them know what's what. Use your voice. Use your wit. Use your snarl. Show them that they cannot mess with you. That's what the world says. Show them that they've gone too far. They've gone this far and you will not let them go any further. But God does not say that. God says, yes, my child, that was agonizing. I know. And I hate it when you are hurting. But child, right now, I am more interested in you seeing and reflecting me in every distressing situation. So you just focus on that. You do that and lay your clap back at my feet and watch me rise to eternal heights for you in ways that mere mortals will fail to comprehend. Lay your clap back at my feet and choose to mirror my undeserved love and grace, and I will open the eyes of your spirit to see the armies of heaven standing at attention to fight for you. Lay your clap back at my feet and decide to represent to the world the person I really am, and I will make your battles mine. This is what God says. So this time, thank God, I got it right. Instead of reacting with the entitlement that I would usually feel when treated like crap simply because of my race and my foreignness, the Lord helped me to lay down my clapback for the sake of showing off Christ for who he really is, and for the sake of birthing real and enduring solutions to the brokenness that hurled itself at me on that day. Let me tell you a little something about this girl right here, talking about me. I did not always have a ready clapback. It sort of was planted in me as my life's roots and routes unfolded. And it then festered under the surface, sort of bristled under the surface, until one day I just no longer could hold it back. I couldn't be bothered to hold it back. Life can do that to you. Prejudice can do that to you. Let me try and give you an abridged account. I was 11 years old when for the first time in my life I came to a realization that changed me in ways that I am still discovering. You see, at the tender age of 11, it dawned on me that I was foreign and black. Well, I still am black, that is, as you can see. But for this little Nigerian girl moving to Cape Town, South Africa in 1995, in the year after the first democratically elected president of South Africa started to govern, 5 years after that evil beast of a regime called apartheid was abolished, this was a life-changing realization for me. At that time, well, at least as far as I know, my little foreign black family was the only one of its kind that lived in the area that we settled in. Some of our neighbors spared little time in letting us know how they felt about our presence in their segregated suburb. I recall walking home from the train station after school and being harassed by neighborhood kids as I made my way home. This one time, I ran the last 2 blocks home crying because a boy who lived down the street from us had managed to deftly spit some chewed up stuff from his mouth at me and my little black friend, who incidentally was the only other black girl in my school at the time. This boy was riding past us on his bicycle and he chose to spit at us. Another time, some clever prankster smeared some very sugary substance, maybe honey, on our front door. The very next morning, it was almost like every sugar ant and its mother that lived in Cape Town was making its way to our front door. Another time, out of nowhere, we heard our doorbell ring. And since we were not expecting anyone, we hesitated a bit before answering the door. For some reason, my mom told me that instead of opening the door, I should just unbolt the glass panel in the middle of the door and peek through to see who was there. I did just that. And instead of finding someone waiting to enter, I spotted a large keg of HTH on the ground, leaning against the door. If you are from South Africa, you will know what HTH is. HTH is calcium hypochlorite. It's used for treating algae and stuff like that in swimming pools. So it turns out that our mystery doorbell ringer, he had a plan, or she had a plan, and the plan was for the carefully placed HTH keg full of some liquid to tumble inward and empty its contents at the feet of whoever had the misfortune to open the door. Guys, I must have been 13 years old at the time. So I took all of this in as a little girl. I was pained about all this hate and intolerance in my world, hurt that I appeared to be on the receiving end of it all. And what was my response? I geared myself up for the time when I would be bold enough to stand up for myself and to clap back at the world for being so nasty. School was no better, at least so I thought at the time. I was a teenager, dark-skinned, African hair, kind of chubby, foreign name, Toyin Amosu. Amosu is my maiden pre-married surname. For most parts, I was one of only 2 black girls in my high school. And note, my high school had over 1,000 kids. So I was different. Now, there are those kids who are different and it makes them popular because it piques everyone's interest, like, exchange students from Europe and all of those things. But I was no exchange student. And my different did not make me popular at my school. In fact, I could share some nasty experiences I had at the hands of kids in my school who were considered to be popular, but no need for that. You see, because all these experiences achieved was to convince me that life was indeed all about the clapback, and that therefore I needed to learn to fight for myself and for my kind and take no prisoners. I needed to woman up and silence the hurt and pain and let nobody see how their sneers and insinuations were breaking me. And don't be mistaken, they were breaking me. And so even when I left high school and intentionally moved my life out of spaces and places that I believed were the root cause of my troubles, I relocated myself to settings where I thought that these evils called racial and heritage prejudice would be less prevalent. But I found that life is what it is. Because this world is what it is. Broken. Let me say that again. I found that life is what it is because this world is what it is. Broken. And a broken world will always find a way to dish up meanness and brokenness. As long as we're in this realm of time, there is and will always be a reason in life to be reactive and feisty and militant and to clap back. If it's not racism, it will be xenophobia. If it's not xenophobia, it will be gender inequality. If it's not gender inequality, it will be religious prejudice. If it's not religious prejudice, it will be peer pressure or oppressive cultural practices against women and children, or backstabbing friends, or lying lovers, or unrequited love, or unappreciative people. It might even be your own insecurities and mindsets of self-deprecation. Yes, in many instances, you might even be the one inflicting brokenness on others. Now, this is not to diminish the anguish that these ills spill into our lives, or even to equate them with one another. Rather, this is to say that just like an apple tree brings out apples, a broken world dishes up brokenness. Just like an apple tree brings out apples, a broken world dishes up brokenness. But then there is Jesus. Hallelujah. And he makes all the difference. And guys, that has been my experience. So enter Jesus. God is the he that has been messing with my clapback. You see, all the while when I was responding to the roots and routes of my life and settling into my sense of entitlement to fight for myself and clap back at the world, all the while when I was allowing my clapback to morph me into this marred shadow of the person God created me to be, God was at work. He was messing with me. He was messing with my clapback. He went and still goes out of his way to show me that he did not create and save me to be tossed here and there by every sharp shot of broken glass that life hurls at me. He did not create me to defend myself and to clap back at the world and at life as if I am someone with no God, no defender, no strong tower, no refuge. He teaches me that no matter the loops and turns that my life takes, I must give the reins to him and allow him to help me respond. Not with a personalized super uber clap back, but rather with an unflinching surrender to the one who takes the most sour roots and routes and converts them into incubators to birth healing solutions to the most far gone broken spaces that we could possibly encounter in this life. So God has been messing with my clapback. He still is. He better not stop. Because if he does, guess what? I don't see myself having the strength to keep this up. Because left to myself, I'm a clapback. I don't want that life anymore, though. I don't want to go back to that. I prefer this life. It's a more peaceful and purposeful life. I cower less, I fight less, I get offended less, and I hope I give offense less. I am learning to define myself much more in terms of what Jesus has to say about me, and in terms of what he has commissioned to me to use my roots and routes to do for him in birthing solutions in a broken world. Now, does this mean that I never stand up for a cause? Does this mean that I never get angry? Does this mean I never fight for the broken and downtrodden? Does this mean I am just a soft sap using up air while the world chews people up and spits them out? No, 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 and no. It does mean that I am learning that God has fashioned for me the tools that he wants me to use to birth solutions to the troubles of this our world. And it is his desire for me to discover those tools and get to birthing, instead of using my clever tongue and manner to be clapping back at the world left, right, and center. Creation is waiting for the manifestation of the children of God. We are all faced with roots and routes, some more ugly than others. But in it all, God has placed tools in our hands to be the solution and not to join the folks that are part of the problem. That's my story, folks. That's my experience with God and my clapback. So, he has been messing with my clapback. That he that I speak of is God. I now believe that a life with a clapback that is bowed out to God is a good life. It's a purpose-driven life. Certainly way better than anything I have ever had, methinks. I am Toyin Oladiran, fully convicted by my own words and very much still under construction in the hands of the Father. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and thank you for just flowing with me as I shared with you my experience and the roots and routes that have shaped me and continue to shape me. I hope you got what I meant when I speak about the clapback. When I speak about the clapback, I'm speaking broadly about the identity that you and I have as a result of the things that we've been through in our lives. I call them your roots and routes. What are your roots and routes, and what has it made you into? What is your identity? What is the lifestyle that you have embraced as a result of your roots and routes? Are you clapping back at the world like I have done in my life? I guess we all have clapped back at the world in one way or the other. Are you clapping back at the world? Are you like, you know what, you're not going to do that to me. I am going to show you before you show me you. Are you clapping back at the world in anger and in bitterness and in strife and in malice and in unforgiveness and in unfaithfulness and in all sorts of things? Are you clapping back at the world with an identity that God did not give you? Or are you surrendering your clapback? Are you surrendering your identity, your response to the things you've had to go through in life? Are you surrendering it to God and saying, you know what, Lord, show me what it is that you have empowered me to do as a result of the things that you have allowed me to experience in this life? Which one are you doing? And that's what this blog post is about. Last week I spoke about purpose. Last week and the week before I shared about purpose and calling. And I said that purpose is about the fact that we are all created for one thing, to glorify God and to have an intimate relationship with him. Calling is about the works and the tools that God has placed in your hands. He has prepared for you in order to do just that, in order to achieve that purpose, which is to glorify him and to have an intimate relationship with him. Your roots and routes, you discover your calling a lot of the time by examining your roots and routes. So all of these painful roots and routes, all of these experiences that we are responding to by clapping back at life, we are actually to be looking at our roots and routes and saying, how has God equipped me? How has God fitted me for the purpose that he has for my life through the things that I have had to go through? Some of us have gone through uglier things than others. You might have gone through way worse things than some of the things that I just described now. Whatever the case might be, we live in a broken world. God did not break the world. We chose a sinful way, so the world is broken. But even in our broken world, the Lord has not left us to our brokenness. He hasn't said, okay, broken world, off you go. He's still up in there with us, and he's like, okay, fine, guys. This world I created was perfect. You guys chose sin. The world is broken. But I am going to turn things around for your good, because even through that brokenness, I am going to help you know me. I am going to help you have tools that that can be used to form solutions, to forge solution spaces in this very broken world. So we are not meant to be part of the problem. We're meant to be part of the solution. Our response to the brokenness we see in this world is not meant to be a response that adds to that brokenness. It's meant to be a response that brings healing. It's meant to be a response that introduces God, introduces Jesus, who he really is, to the world. That's the response we're meant to have. Now, many of us as Christ followers, many of us that call ourselves godly, are clapping back at the world left, right, and center. We're saying, I'm Christ follower over here, and then we're clapping back at the world. Guys, please, don't get it twisted. I'm speaking to myself because I do a lot of that, and I have done a lot of that. You're clapping back at the world, but guess what? What the world sees when they look at you, they see your clap back. And then they say, but you call yourself a Christ follower. What makes you different? You also have no control over your feelings. You're also clapping back at the world, just like I'm clapping back at the world. So what's the difference between me and you? That's why we cannot afford to surrender to the clap back. That's why we need to surrender the clap back to Jesus and let him work in and through us. Let him mess with your clap back and turn it around so that you can discover the tools that he has actually fitted and strategically placed into that very broken space that you find yourself in, to enable you to be a solution to the very things that make you clap back to the world. That is God's desire. That is God's design for you and for me. Now, like I said in my blog post, I often don't get it right. And the Lord is, I'm actually just recently, something that God is working in my life, learning not to clap back at the world. And I find that the more I surrender my clap back to God, the more I surrender my response and my reactions to my roots and routes to the Lord, the more I am emboldened and equipped to walk in a closer intimacy with the Lord. The more I find it easier to interact with him and to press into his presence and to just love on him and receive his love and get to know God better. Also, the more I find myself discovering and uncovering the calling that he has on my life, the more I find myself discovering the tools that he has strategically placed in this very same life to enable me to be a solution bringer to the world, to this very world that used to make me clap back and that still sometimes makes me clap back. And that is the joy of allowing God to mess with your clap back. Now, you guys have always, you hear me speak about Bow Out Old Man. Bow Out Old Man, the B.O.O.M program, is my flagship program that I am in the process of completing. And it's basically a tool. It's a very practical and relatable tool to help you do exactly this. Identify your clapback. Your clapback is the old man, that self, that trait that is inside of all of us as a result of sin, because we are born of Adam. And then the traits that you see of the old man in you are often related to the things you've been through in life, your roots and your routes, your exposures, the pain, the suffering, the brokenness that you have experienced or that you have even caused to other people. Those are the traits of the old man that you find in you. That's your clap back. That's your response. That's your identity, your lifestyle, the response that you have had to the things that you have had to face in your life. And the Bow Out Old Man program, the B.O.O.M program, is there to help you identify your clapback. We do it in a creative way. We do it in a deep way where, gosh, we're exploring our roots and routes. We're identifying the traits in very clever ways, I think, anyway, identifying the traits of the old man in our life so that we can face the reality of who we are, or who we have allowed ourselves to be. And then we can bow that old man out. Bow out that clapback. Surrender that clapback to God. And that's what the program allows us to do. And as we do that, you will find that as you surrender your clapback to God, as you bow out the old man, as you allow the Lord to help you bow out the old man, guess what happens? You start to find yourself in a much easier intimacy with God. And also you start to find yourself discovering, as you explore your roots and routes, you start to find yourself discovering the things that have been at work, that God has been doing in your life all along to prepare you and to fit you for the purpose that he has for your life. That is the exciting thing about the Bow Out Old Man program, about the B.O.O.M program. So if anybody is interested, if you're interested in finding out more about the B.O.O.M program, can you please send me an email on thenarrowgateway@gmail.com. I will put all my links and all the email addresses and everything in the comment section. Make sure that you send me an email and tell me, Toyin, when you roll out the B.O.O.M program, please let me know, because I would like to find out more about it, and I would like to get on the program as well. It's an online program that you'll be able to purchase online. And if you I've also started a Facebook group. It's a closed group. It's a community, actually, an interactive community that I'm setting up for people who are going to be doing the program, and it's for us to basically do this thing together, to bow out the old man together, to bow out the clapback together. So if you're interested, I'll also put the link to the Facebook group, it's a closed group, in the comment section. So if you're interested, please click on that link and make sure you request to join the group. If you want to find out more about the Bow Out Old Man program, the B.O.O.M program, you can also check it out on www.thenavigateway.com/the-boom work program/. Okay, guys, thank you so much. It's been real. I loved sharing this blog post with you. I decided to do a reading of it because it was just deep for me, and also because I know most of us just don't like reading, and it is a bit of a long blog post, so I thought it would probably have more impact if I read it to you. Love you, Stacks. I hope you were able to shake it off and set your mind on the things that we were talking about today. And I also hope that you circle back and make sure you try and listen to this video again, share it on your pages so that other people who need to be blessed by it can also tap in and be blessed by it. God bless you. I love you and I pray for you. Bye. Bye.